Yes, the Week 6 slate is loaded from start till finish this weekend. Ravens at the Giants early Sunday afternoon. Chiefs-Bills is a late kick in Kansas City. NFC East takes center stage Sunday evening in Philly. And hey, look at that. Russell Wilson and the Broncos in primetime again, this time on Monday nights. With those games in mind, we welcome in Sportsline analyst Jason Canfora. And the Giants are one of the best surprises of the season so far, winning 4 out of 5 to start the year. But they're still 5.5-point dogs at home to the Ravens. How do you see this one?
I like the under here, Paul. Look, there's a lot of familiarity here. Defensive coordinator Wink Martindale of the Giants spent almost 10 years with the Ravens, helping to run their defense, long time as defensive coordinator. If anybody has a book on Lamar Jackson and Greg Roman, it's him. The Ravens right now are really limited offensively. Rashad Bateman, their de facto number 1 receiver, not practicing again this week. I'd be shocked if he plays. Last week, only 2 players in that passing attack had over 8 yards receiving, Devin Duvernay and Mark Andrews. You look at what Wink Martindale's doing, and yes, he blitzes a lot, and that gets all the attention. He's also playing about as much cover 1 as anybody in the league, a lot of single high safety looks. Lamar faced a ton of single high safety looks from Bill Belichick just a few weeks ago. He went 6 for 15, couple of sacks, an interception, a QB rating of 45. I don't think Martindale's going to let Mark Andrews go off. The Ravens will be content to run the ball with Dobbins. Justice Hill might be back. We know what Lamar can do on the ground. And the Giants are a freak show. Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley combined have 902 scrimmage yards. The rest of the team has 848. We know Brian Dable's philosophy here. I think this will be an old school ground and pound type football game. Lamar Jackson's numbers are down the last couple of weeks. I like the under.
You mentioned Lamar Jackson, AFC quarterbacks. That's a perfect segue to Kansas City. Jason, I think we all remember that feeling of not wanting the Bills-Chiefs game to end last January.
Yep.
78 points later, Mahomes moved on. Allen went home. For the rematch, my eyes went right to the over-under, and the number is 54, with the Bills expected to win by less than a field goal. What jumps out to you here?
I like the first half under, and we do think about that wild and crazy game they played. But think about how many points were scored in the fourth quarter and then obviously into the wild overtime. This chess match usually takes some time to develop. Even, go back to game flow of the last Chiefs game against a far lesser opponent. The Raiders, that game, the fireworks didn't really start till the second half. Buffalo's defense is beyond legit, and the kind of zones that Leslie Frazier plays are the type that give Mahomes fits. Kansas City's passing defense on the season stinks, but they're 4th most cover 2 in the league. Josh Allen struggles against cover 2. I don't think Spags is going to come out blitzing. These two teams are both in the top 6 in second half scoring. Their first half scoring, though, hasn't been nearly as dominant. I think it might get over 54, but give me the first half under 27.
We'll look for the fireworks then in Kansas City in the second half. Let's go to the NFC East. Dallas has won 4 straight. Philadelphia hasn't lost yet. I think the Eagles' offense against the Cowboys' defense is the best game within the game this weekend. What has your attention?
Look, I just think that's a lot of points for a very good Dallas operation to be getting in a divisional matchup. We've seen the Eagles be susceptible to backdoor covers in the past. That's something I keep an eye on here. And I just like what Dallas is doing offensively. That they're not trying to be super sexy. They're keeping guardrails on Cooper Rush. They're protecting the football. They're emphasizing high percentage passes. They're getting both running backs involved early, especially Pollard in the passing game. And the defense is absolutely dominant. The Eagles go crazy in the second quarter, but they struggle to score in a lot of other quarters. I see Dallas keeping this close. I see Dallas testing that Eagles defense just enough. And again, fourth quarter, we've seen the Eagles take their foot off the gas and let teams make games closer than they need to be. I'm riding with the Dallas Cowboys now, something I didn't think I'd say at the beginning of the year, but they've got an identity. They know who they are. I think they keep this game close, Permy.
Yeah, Jason, I think it's safe to say Dallas and Philadelphia have been a little bit better than most of us expected. In the AFC West, though, the Broncos have been disappointing. The Chargers, kind of underwhelming. Still, I thought LA would be favored by more than 4.5 at home. You?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I guess, at some point, does Denver break through? I, again, look at the total here, though, and I go under. And you could look at some of the Chargers games, and, yeah, they're explosive, but they've been against teams that can't play any defense. Denver plays defense, and whoever they put Patrick Surtain on won't affect the game. Denver gets pressure. Herbert has struggled against pressure, and the Chargers have leaned heavily into Austin Eckler the last couple of weeks, and they're going to continue to do so. We know about Denver's offensive limitations. I'm not sure that they break free in this one. Their early game scripts have been terrible. They're scoring touchdowns on 20% of their red zone drives. Next worst in the league is 38.7. I'm not sure Nathaniel Hackett's figured all that out. Russell Wilson dealing with injuries. I don't know, man. We've seen Denver involved in some real ugly primetime games, and I'm reckoning this might be another one.
Yes, if the recent past is any sign, certainly right on it right there. Hey, another sign that things are moving along in the season. We have buys for the first time this week, so you have a couple fewer games to pick from here. What do you see as your top NFL wager this week?
Look, I really like the under in the, stop me if you heard this one before, they are hitting at 57%. I like the under in Jacksonville and Indianapolis. They produced 24 points total a couple weeks ago, all of them for Jacksonville. The Colts defense has gotten a lot better since then. Jacksonville's defense is legit. Both these offenses, quarterbacks who turn the balls over quite a bit. We've seen Trevor Lawrence really struggle late in games. I expect both these coaches to play it pretty conservatively. The Jags have difficulty winning in Indianapolis in general. And the Colts, 5-0 to the under this year, Paul. Streak of 10 straight games to the under. I don't think these two offenses snap that trend.
JLC, good to see you. Thank you so much for the insight. Let's take another look at his picks. And as he just kind of made reference to, under is the theme for the whole game with Giants-Ravens and for the first half with Bills-Chiefs. He says take the points in Philly. Also likes the under in L.A. His best bet of the weekend, say it with me, the under for Jaguars and Colts.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.